Hello friends, it's your favorite neighborhood nerd Simone, and I'm here with an unboxing and experimentation video today. As you know, Benu reached out to me recently and asked if I wanted to collaborate, and I said, of course. Please send me the Magenta Madness Benu Pixie Set because, oh my god, are these colors stunning. Ever since I saw these on social media, I was like, I'm so sad that these are not available as one. But I have to tell you that this is totally worth it. You should get one. Now, you can also just get a single one of them. If you're interested how these pens compare to other pens, the size, the length, the weight, please check out my other Benu Pixie video where I shared the honey bronze and did some experimentation with this as well. I will link it in the cards up above here and you can go there. There is a lot of measurements and all that jazz. Let me quickly flip back. I think I filmed that in February. Or nope. Should have pulled that up earlier. There we go. Here we have it. I can read it to you, so you do not have to go check out another video. It is 9 centimeters long, capped, uncapped 8.3 centimeters, posted 11.3 centimeters, and it is postable, and the posting is necessary. Cap rotations is 2. The weight is 13 grams, capped or posted, and uncapped, unposted, it weighs 6 grams. On the narrowest part, the diameter is 9.3 millimeters, and on the widest part, it is 10.96, which is right here. The section length is 2.2 centimeters, and the pilot parallel section screws and fits with cap. So that is what we are going to do today. However, because I was able to get 3 of these, I thought before we go and play, we are going to compare the line width of the fine, medium, and broad Benu Pixies. And then we are going to go and dig deep. Now, the mod that I did with this pen, just in case you're curious, is that you can see this looks like a double broad nib. Now, there is no double broad nib for the Benu Pixie, and the logo on this nib is Kaweco. So what I did with my pen is I just yanked out the nib and used the feed that is on the Benu nib, grip section, feed, nib unit, there we go, that's the word, and put the Kaweco nib on there. I wasn't sure if it's gonna work because this nib here, back here, is a little shorter than the Schmidt nib, but I used this successfully and I really liked it. Now, the only difference that I have noticed is that when I used this pen, and this was one of those things that made it not really usable for me, is when I wrote with it. Let me see if I can just put something underneath. I don't want my hand oils to transfer. Then at one point, well, it's not doing it for me right now. At one point, this would do pop like this. You could actually hear it, and then this would become loose and fall off in the writing process. Right now, oh, there we go. It's not doing it for me. I think because the pen is quite thin, the section is quite thin, I grip this far back, And that's when and how this would happen. Now, I heard that if you put this on here and kind of twist at the end, it would be more secure. But what I noticed when I pulled these out is that these seem to post more securely than this one. And I don't really know why that is. It feels completely different even. So let me quickly show you all the pens in their beauty and take this away so that it's easier for you to see. It is this pen, the pink one. They don't have any names. So the set is called Magenta Madness, but each pen is called pink, magenta, and purple. Then it is this shimmery, chatoyant pink. And then the cap has a translucent top, clear, with magenta sparkly flecks in here. And then right here, there is silver hollow flakes. Now, here's some critique. I don't really like how these two clash. I don't care much about gold, combining gold and silver hardware or any those colors with each other. But this is such a close proximity that I think this cap would have been nicer if the debossing down here would have been silver. Now, all of these have gold embossing in here. And I'm just noticing something, but I think I'm going to turn on the light. Even though it's still okay, it's starting to get too dark to be easily visible. Now we only have to live with the glare. I have not noticed on these other pens. Let me pull out. Okay. Ha! Odd. So I feel like the B, so the downstroke on the B, on the E, the whatever this is, horizontal stroke, diagonal stroke on the N, the downstroke on the U are quite visible. And then the rest of the letters are really super thin. But for some reason, I can read it here. But this is really hard to read. And I don't really understand why, because they're all the same. I just pulled them out to check. They're all the same. But the Benu on this Euphoria is the best legibility. The Talisman is really hard. And then comes this, and you're like, okay, what is this? A 1-1? What hieroglyphs are these? Interesting. I didn't notice that before. I can see it, and I know what it looks like, so it's not a problem, but interesting. So we have these flecks. All three of these pens obviously have the gold debossing, I believe it is. This is possibly supposed to be a roll stop, but it doesn't really stop. Well, can you see it? No, you cannot. Does it really stop here? No, it's not really. This looks very icy to me. Ice Princess is what comes to mind first. Snow Queen, something like that. But oh my gosh, those sparkles. Can you see those? Here. I love this. This looks really good still. The pink or magenta one looks like this. The body is completely pink, magenta, whatever. But there is, if I look here and I turn it, there is some purple coming through. Again, the same. It's basically they're all the same, made the same way. They're very shiny and chatoyancy in their bodies and the bottom of the caps, and then the top of the cap is where the madness is happening. This looks to me more like fruit punch, I don't know why I think of this. And there is blue right here. I don't know if you can see this. Obviously you can. There's blue right here. And then this is more, it's like more orangey. I find this cap to be extremely interesting and really lovely too. So that is this pen. And then the last one is definitely my favorite. If I would match an ink to this, it would be Watermelon Tender Purple, of course. I actually think that these are both, nope, this is darker. I thought this was the same color, but no. So here is the Summer Magic pen that I showed you in my last video. One of the last videos, not sure if this is coming back to back, but this is a little bit more red leaning, warmer than this purple. And then I also do have the Dark Unicorn from Gourmet Pens. And that is another completely different color. The color looks very similar right here, but in this pen, this purple is in the flecks and not in the color of the pen itself. So let's take a closer look at this. Here we go. I think this is my favorite. I said it already, but this is totally my favorite one. I love that there is this teeny tiny glitter. It's not as fully chatoyant as the other ones. And then we have the cap here with the same purple on the bottom. And actually the Benu is the most legible here as well. And then we have a colorful, multicolored holographic shimmer that is gold leaning, I believe, in comparison to this. There's also hollow here, but this is definitely silver. This is more gold. I feel like it's these flecks up here and the blue flecks from here combined in the bottom right here. It's very warm and welcoming. And then we have another translucent cap. However, this is not as clear as the other two. And there is these bright magenta flecks, sparkle things in the cap. Now, I requested to be sent a fine, a medium, and a broad nib. And if you look at this, you can see that these two are gold colored nibs and this one is a silver colored nib. I mean, it works with this pen, but it's odd that this is a triplet where one stands out. But also, this one does stand out in general, I think. They work well with each other, for sure. They look good together, but this one is definitely a little bit different than the other two. So I am going to pull out my ink, which is my dip testing ink is always Watermelon Serenity Blue. If I can open it, yes I can. Oh, I could also then show you the double broad nib. I will do that for sure. And then we will do other things with these pens. Wow. That's a lot of ink, my friends. Oh, I have a paper towel, very crunchy, but still here. So, this is the Benu Pixie Pink. And this one has a fine nib. Now, I tested this. I dipped it in ink. It feels nice right out of the box. There is nothing wrong with this nib at all. Let me put some downstrokes, side strokes, and then these are very stiff steel nibs, so there is not a lot of line variation. So that's the first one. And see what I mean? This is tight. It does not come off as easily. I really have to put pressure on there to get it off. Okay, I need to clean those later. This is the biggest disadvantage of being a YouTuber and showing stuff online. Oh my goodness, look at this. How this, ooh, the color change right here. This looks so good. Is that you have to clean all of those things that you showed. So here, I don't know. I don't know what's different with this one. See? I don't know. It's different for sure. So this is something that I'm going to send an email to my Benu contact and ask about if they are different, like if they have been improved in that regard, because I feel like there is a difference. And I just want to make sure. I will put the response in the comment section or description down below. Then we have the Benu. Oh, okay. This is, let's dip this again and see if that will do something. I also don't always know if it went all the way. Well, this time it did. Let's see what this one does. Benu Pixie. This is Magenta. In medium. Downstrokes, side strokes, and then so as you can see, I am putting some pressure on here, but I'm not putting pressure on there so that it splays the tines. I'm just putting a tiny bit on there so that it can spring back, but just to see if there is some line variation. I do think that the jump from fine to medium is huge. Now let's see what the broad nib does to us. Same thing, this is good. And then, oh, no, that's interesting. This is a broad nib, yes. Okay, there we go. Just needed some warm up. Purple. I like this a lot. This is a broad. Downstrokes, side strokes, and then this puts down a lot of ink. I believe that I dipped them all equally. Wow, I did not expect these nibs to be so nice. My experience with these smaller Benu nibs is that they were quite dry every time that I used them, and I usually did not, because I just always felt like they did not flow well. That is very interesting. Wow, okay. So I am going to dip this as well, just to see. This is a Kaweco Sport double broad nib. I have the feeling right now that this double broad nib is about the same size as the broad nib from the Schmidt nib, but we will see. So this could be because there was more ink in the feed up here in this purple one than there was in this one, and it already ran out. It could also mean that this nib is just drier than this one. Interesting. Now, so here's my thoughts. I would love to add 2 more pens, Pixies, to my Pilot Parallel collection, which is right here. I have them all, or most of them, in these Wansai minis, and you can unscrew the whole nib unit of those pens. I have a whole video about this, and then shove the nib unit that is in the Pilot Parallel into this. You cannot do that with the Benu Pixies, but what you can do is unscrew this whole thing and screw it on the pen body, and then eyedropper the pen with ink and use, instead of this, what you would use is this. Now, all of these pens come with a short international standard cartridge, and if I'm not mistaken, then this is filled with Diamine Oxford Blue. So the pen that I really like the most, now I wanted to, I'm not sure, so I could convert all 3 of those to Benu Pixie, to Pilot Parallel pens. I only have 2 nib units right now. I do have one here that I could put on one of these pens, or I could leave one of them. It's reversible because there's nothing, I'm not breaking the pen. I can just clean it out. For now, I think I'm just not gonna put this in here because it has one of my favorite inks in it. Is there still ink here? Yeah, there's still a lot of ink in here. This is Vinta Lakbai. So I am going to remove the nib units from this one, and I'm going to take out this. So then I can totally clean this still later because I need to, because it was dipped. So I'm going to throw this in here. This one also needs to be rinsed. What I'm going to do with this one is I'm actually going to Germany in August, and I am a godmother to a 14-year-old child that I haven't seen in a long time. And our relationship is lacking, and it's not her fault, it's my fault. And however, she is going to school where she still needs to use fountain pens. And I also know that she is definitely a book nerd and she likes stationery. So I think that I'm just going to bring her this pen and gift it to her, which makes it even more special because I have the other 2 of the set and she can have this one. I will bring her the medium nib because I think the fine nib is almost too fine. And do we care if this is gold or silver? No, because there's gold right here. So, nah, you don't get to say anything. So we have this part of the pen, and then, oh, I was going to keep this one as a writing instrument. Or I'm gonna use this. I am just going to move this over here. This is going to be an experiment. We're going to do this last. I'm going to remove this section right here. Needs to be cleaned. Oh no, this is open. That is unfortunate. I am just going to trash this right away. There we have another one. And then I'm also going to convert this one. Totally not an ink a cartridge in here because this has already been used before. Oh, ugh. And then I need to clean out this one. Now, let me open these up off camera. So let me just update you on, first of all, no mic anymore. I need that slot to charge my phone in order to be able to finish this tonight. I decided against removing this. I want to clean this whole thing, and I bought a new sample, and then once this is out there, I will find a way to make this use. And actually, you know, even though this is cuter, this works just as well. You don't have to move the Pilot Parallel nibs anywhere. But I removed the nib from here. This is another hack that I did. This is a Jinhao 9019, and there you just yank out the nib and the feed. You leave the section that you screw in contrast to the Bonsai Mini where you unscrew the whole thing. And I pulled this out. Look at how much shimmer is still in this nib unit, and I don't have any tools to clean this. Just gonna dust it off and hope for the best, and then the ink that goes in here will just have some shimmer. It didn't affect the flow, so I don't think it will. And then this is the grip section, and you can just, oh, this is a little, did I do anything with this nib? Yes, I did. I cut off some here, I believe. Is this still gonna work? Oh, we can just try. It doesn't seem like it's gonna fall out by itself, so I think we're good. And then this is what it looks like. You would just screw this on here and you're good. And then put this back here, and then you have a pen to write. Now, what I am going to do is pull out some silicone grease and a tiny, tiny brush that I'm using for the threads so that we can just make sure that the ink doesn't come out. Now, I pulled out some of the inks that I have swatched recently that I have because I want to put them in Pilot Parallels. And there's the cable of my microphone that I can't use right now. The only disadvantage of swatching it on huge paper is that I don't have a reference, an easy reference. I really like Troublemaker Mango. This looks really good. I also brought out Color Vent White Hole. Oh, this is a little light. So I'm going to put this aside. I don't want to use that. I do want to use Gourmet Pens Ink Institute Ice Fog. This ink was sent to me by my friend Claudia just to put into a Pilot Parallel. So that's what I want to do. And then I also swatched, I got some Wearing Ghoul samples from Amy. Who else? Amy is keeping me well stocked with all of the new stuff, which I'm eternally grateful for. And also, these don't stick to my wall, so there's stuff here on the side. So one is A Room of One's Own, and the other one that I have is The Nightingale and the Rose, which is this one. So I have 3 pens that I can use. This, and this. And I am going to put this one in that, I think. It doesn't really matter. They don't work well either way. Maybe I'm just going to do that. And then I think The Nightingale and the Rose is this one. I think I'm going to keep this for another time and put Mango in this one. So now what nib sizes do I have? I bought, so this is a 1.5. Is that, do I want to keep that with this? Maybe. And then I have a 3.0 and a 2.4. And I'm just gonna put the 2.4 on here and then this one here. And what did I say? I wanted to put this there, this here. Okay, so what else do we need? We need something to fill it. Just this, and maybe I should put this aside just so that we don't get stuff dirty. And then we need a pipette, some water, and then we're going to swatch the ink as well, because that's what you do. So let's start with mango. I am just going to use this Inkapet Octopus as my pen holder. And then I am going to take this, put some up here, drop it into here. Maybe you want to come closer. Put it in here, and I'm just gonna go all in as high as I can go, and then rinse this. Then, so now the silicone grease, let's be gentle, because the last time that I opened it, I dipped my whole finger inside. So I'm just gonna use a tiny bit, put this on my brush here, and then go around where the threads are. So now I need to make sure that I'm in frame. Go around here, and I just use that tiny blob that I put on it in the beginning. I'm gonna put this to the side, screw this whole thing on top here, and then here we go. Then I'm just gonna close it and hope for the best. I don't want to put this upside down, because I found that with the One Size Minis, putting them upside down sometimes just helps them unload completely. So that's not what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put it to the side. Then let's ink up. Is there a shimmer? Shimmer is going to be last. Let's ink up this one. Gourmet Pens Ice Fog. Another. And yes, I am just dumping almost the whole sample in there because I can. It just doesn't really make sense to me to be too precious about all of those inks, because there's so many that I have. Another blob on here. Sorry, here you can see how much I took. Then the problem is that if I look through the viewfinder, it feels like I don't really know what I'm doing, like I have two left hands. Okay, this should be enough. Then I'm gonna screw it on here. And then here you go. And last but not least, this one I want to shake up before I put the pipette inside and pull up ink, because I do want shimmer in this. I don't want the shimmer to settle down as quickly as possible, so that I do get quite a bit of shimmer in this pen barrel. All right, I'm gonna put this back. I don't want ink in the threads because I have the silicone grease there then when I screw it on, and I don't want to risk it, if you know what I mean. So then we can close this again, and then luckily this is already closed. Let's come here. I think this is enough, most likely. Let's just make this easier. And I do have multiple of these brushes. So what I did is I used a little bit of washi tape to go around the back end of this teeny tiny brush. I received those from my friend Wendy Sue. So I don't know what they are, where you can get them. So I put this around, so then when I pull out the brushes, I know that this one I should not use to clean any pen parts, because silicone grease makes tampers with your ink flow, and suddenly your ink might spill out and you don't know why. It's because there's silicone grease in it. Okay, so let's close this, put it back. So now we can get to, I did all of this over here because I thought it would be necessary, but actually none of this is necessary. Maybe I can do it and then I have this whole thing. I don't know. So I am just going to get some ink out here. Do we want to put this over here? No, I'm just gonna finish here. Oh, what happened here? Oh no, what is this? What is wrong here? Is this now the place where this paper starts acting up? Well. If you have an idea, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so I just used this tissue paper, and then we're gonna see if we can get this to right. There will be shimmer in there because of this section here. And I can show you how this writes. Let me pull out the paper and let me just get the ink flow going. This is really odd. Is this all the shimmer from that nib that fell onto this page earlier? So weird. So there is ink coming through. I'm just gonna shake it for it to come down far. There we go. Maybe that helps. Yep. Okay, so this is how this sits here. This is the Pixie in honey, bronze, and this is a Pilot Parallel with a 1.5 millimeter nib, and the ink that is in here is Troublemaker Mango. Now this feels like there is some resist on this page, and I don't really know why. So there, but this is how this looks. And then I'm just going to add it to the tons of other pens that I have in this pen case. Maybe at some point in the near future, we will we will have a, what would we call that? A let's see what these net pens can do, what the colors look like, and if we want to switch it up kind of thing in my palette parallels. Okay, let's go here and just do another circle and move this up so that you can actually see it. Nice. I don't know what happened. There's also some orange here, so I'm not sure why this is happening. Okay. The ink is up here. There's a lot of shimmer in here. It hasn't come down yet. Let's see if we can make it happen. There we go. It's coming. There's ink. So let's post this. So the posting is different. It is, I can attest to this right now. There we go. Pixie. Magenta. The cool thing about these palette parallels is that you can write on this corner right here, or this one, it doesn't matter actually. Maybe this one is better. And this is a 3.0 millimeters. And this is Varingul. A room of one's own, right? A room of one's own. This is what it looks like if I use it like this. If I tilt it a little bit, then these look different. The shimmer comes out really nicely. I don't know what these flecks are. There's some teal. Now, it would have been really nice if all of this had fit on one page and then it would be nice and neat. But no, this never happens to me. Because obviously, see, so they must be different. I can't even like get this off. I actually like, I much prefer this over this in terms of stickiness, if postability, because here I know that if I use it, it's fine. If I use this, it might pop off and it might make me feel weird. So last ink is this one. And I'm going to use my dip pen right now because I don't really know what the problem is with this other one. This is obviously one of those light chromo shading inks. And this is Ink Institute London Fog in collaboration with Gourmet Pens. Okay, here is, oh, this is already all the way down. So let's see. This is a 2.4 millimeter nib. Super flowy. Might be because it had contact. Oh no. Exactly what I'm saying. It might have had contact with the silicone grease. So I don't know if this is how this is. Yep, this is how this is going to. Oh, what is this? Oh, this is normal. I thought this was a drop forming here. What the heck? Brains. Pixie. And this is called Purple. There is definitely a lot of ink. Oh, look here, coming out. So this, I don't feel like this is normal. Purple. So I will definitely have to do some troubleshooting once I'm done. But look at the chromo shading on this ink. And obviously how amazing it looks with a Pilot Parallel. So this is the Pilot, oh my God, Pilot Parallel 2.4 millimeters. I will have to figure out if I did something wrong. Maybe I put too much of the silicone grease. So this is Gore. Let's see what happens. May pens, ink, Institute, London fog. Wow. Okay. Odd, I have to say. There's nothing wrong with this nib here, though. It goes in and out easily. It just feels like it's a lot of... Look at the chromatography on here. Nice. Okay, I will finish up. Thank you so much for watching. I really loved this experiment. I might have to get rid of this ink, unfortunately. We'll see. I will just put a nib up into my pen case for now and revisit it later. I really love that you can do this with these Benu Pixies. Thank you so much to Benu for sending these my way. There's one more. These are definitely kind of collectibles. And I really love that magenta set. I will see you again in another video, hopefully soon. Until next time, bye. I mean, besides the fact that this is basically still completely wet, there's no bleed through on this side, which is, wow. I did not think that this was not going to happen, but that's how it is.